How do you know if you or a loved one is in a toxic relationship? What are toxic signs? What are those things that tend to raise the flags for you? Hi, my name is Travis Goodman. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And in this video today, I'm going to go over 7 signs that someone might be in a toxic relationship. So let's get started. Number 1, control. A toxic person may try to control their partner. That could look like controlling and isolating them from friends, from family, from coworkers. That could look like trying to control a person's thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. And often it comes with not taking their partner's feelings or needs into account. Number 2, manipulation. A toxic person, they might use guilt, they might use threats or emotional blackmail to get their way. They may twist the truth. They might use emotional manipulation to make them feel guilty or responsible somehow. Number 3, we hear this one a lot, gaslighting. A toxic person may make their partner feel like their version of events isn't accurate. They might make them question their reality, make them feel, quote, crazy, make them feel like somehow they forgot or messed up or somehow it was their fault. And often that person is left feeling confused and dazed and maybe it was my fault, they might think to themselves. Number 4, verbal or physical emotional abuse. A toxic person may engage in physical abuse, pushing, shoving, and a toxic person will often use emotional or psychological abuse, things like name calling, threats. They can use demeaning language, whether this is in private or in public. And these behaviors are never acceptable in a healthy relationship, ever. Number 5, a lack of respect. A toxic person will not respect their partner's boundaries. They won't respect their wishes, their needs. They will abuse and use without any regard for the other person. This could also look like if they're having a dialogue or conversation that the toxic person doesn't even take the other person's opinions into account. They might hear them or, quote, listen to them, but often it's twisted and they might put their ideas down, calling it stupid or dumb or saying things like, why would you even think that? If you resonate with one or some of these, drop a comment below, ask a question, and I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction. Number 6, selfishness. Often a toxic person is overly involved with themselves. It's all about them. One might call this more narcissistic, but it looks like not taking into account their partner's, again, needs or feelings, often dismissing the other. It's about what they want, their needs, their demands, and that could be anything from small things to what they're going to eat for dinner, all the way to big life decisions, and this is consistent and constant. Number 7, jealousy. Often a toxic person is jealous of their partner, and they show this with criticism, often contempt. Can look like monitoring them, maybe nowadays tracking them on their phones. They will often accuse their partner of some type of infidelity or cheating on them. And to take that a step further, the toxic person might even try to isolate them from friendships, being overly jealous, especially with those of the opposite sex and gender. The reality is this: if you or a loved one are noticing these toxic signs, it's never too late to end the relationship. It's never too late to set boundaries, to begin to distance self, and to find a way out. Reach out to a safe person, whether that's a loved one, a therapist, or a crisis center. These toxic signs, if left unchecked, tend to get worse with time, and they tend to be consistent in signs of abusive relationships. And here's a good question to ask yourself. If you find yourself in a similar situation, I want you to think of your friends, someone you care about, in a similar relationship. What advice or wisdom would you give them? Would you encourage them to stay, to try to work on the relationship? Or would you encourage them to get out as quickly and as fast and as safe as possible? My encouragement is to treat yourself with respect and love, just like you would treat someone you truly care for. And if you're looking for scientifically proven communication patterns that can end a relationship, you're going to want to watch this next video.